guys, my name is Casey and welcome to my booktube. Today I am joined by author Lynette Noni and we are here to do an interview. She's here to do an interview with me. Can you, first off, tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay, well, I am Lynette Noni. I am the author of the Madoran Chronicles. And that's it. My favourite colour really could be anything. I love Disney. I mean, how much do you want me to go into?
I mean, I purposely didn't put the favourite colour question in there because I knew that the answer would be too long.
Yep.
No,
that's an impossible. It depends on the day, depends on how I'm feeling, depends on what I'm wearing, it depends on, you know, am I eating it, am I looking at it, is it, you know, there's, I mean, the options are endless really.
I understand.
Yeah. I thought you would.
Can you give us a brief blurb of your books then?
Yes, okay. Well, I won't go into the second two because that's spoilers, but the first one, or the entire series, is basically Harry Potter, Narnia and X-Men all rolled into one. The first book in a nutshell is a 16-year-old girl named Alex who steps through a doorway, finds herself stranded in a fantasy world called Medora. While she's there, she learns that only one person can get her back home, but he is the headmaster of AKARNAE Academy, which is a school for teenagers with supernatural gifts, but he is missing. So she goes to AKARNAE, she attends as a student and waits for him to come back home while she's searching for a way to get back to her home. And while she's there's all kinds of things she has to do, like combat classes and archery and equestrian skills, and she's just not understanding anything. And there's a sentient library that talks to her and it's very, very strange. And then there's a bad guy and basically she has to kind of save the world. So that's the first book in a very short, brief summary.
I don't think I've ever explained it that well, so...
Oh, I've had to do this a few times, believe it or not.
And besides from these 3 books, and you've got 2 more coming out in the Madoran Chronicles, can you tell us on anything you're working on?
Yes, I'm currently, the first book in another series is called Whisper. It's bought by the editor of The Hunger Games in the States, which is really exciting. So I'm working with her and KCP Lofts, which is the publishing house, on that. And Pantera Press, my Australian authors, have also picked that up for Australia and New Zealand. So it's coming out in all 4 countries, America, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, early next year. And that's, as I said, it's called Whisper. It's kind of, if you want a mashup, it's like Stranger Things meets Divergent and like the Jason Bourne sort of series. So working on that and a couple of other things up my sleeves at the moment too. Not allowed to say, but I think I can probably say they are Madoran related. I think that's okay to say. I
kind of had a question later about that. So.
Okay.
So let's just do a few warm-up questions.
Ooh,
when did you begin reading?
Reading? When did I come out of the womb? I've always been a reader. I've always loved reading. When I was a kid, I was reading things like I was a total horse freak, so like Saddle Club and the Thoroughbred series and like Pony Pals or whatever it was called, and then Goosebumps and Babysitter's Club, all those sort of things. And then I never wanted to read fantasy books, but we had to read Over Newton for school when I was in year 7, so I would have been 12, I think.
I had to read in year 7 as well.
Interesting. Wow.
I'm still doing it.
Oh, that's good to know. So that's Over Newton by Isabel Comedy, and I fell in love with fantasy from that. I fell in love with this idea of another world, and it was beautiful, and it made me want to read more fantasy, which then went to Narnia, and then eventually Harry Potter, and then everything sort of fell into place. So that's my reading journey in a nutshell.
So that's your reading journey. I know you said before that you didn't actually start writing until you were in your 20s?
Yeah, 24.
Yeah. So what kind of career path do you think you would have gone on if you hadn't gone into writing? Because obviously it wasn't a planned thing. It wasn't, you grew up always wanting to be a writer.
Yeah, no, I never wanted to be a writer. I didn't even like English in school. I was like a science and music student, and English was like, I mean, I did it because you have to do it, but I never really enjoyed it. Which I'm really disappointed about in hindsight. I wish I could have gotten into Shakespeare, and I wish I could have gotten into whatever else we learned in school. I had this great chemistry teacher in year 11, and she made me fall in love with chemistry. Probably why I have chemistry in my books, because that came from that. She helped me understand it in a way that I never understood it before. I don't remember what the question was.
That's okay. Career path.
Oh yeah, career path. Yeah, so when I was in school, I never knew what I wanted to do. I had those friends who knew from, year 3 upwards that they were going to be this. But year 10 came, year 11 came, year 12 came, and I still had no idea. So I enrolled in the Bachelor of Arts at UQ at University of Queensland, and just thought I'd try a few different topics, 2 different subjects. And that first year I did like psychology, journalism, academic writing, and sociology. And I really, it was big mix, and I fell in love with sociology from it because you're learning about people and human behaviour. And in the end, from that, I went on and actually did my degree in human behaviour. But even after finishing that, I still didn't know, was I a human behaviouralist? So I have a degree in human behaviour, and I never really went into a job in that field. Even after leaving uni, I got a job at a photography company, and I worked there for 5 years. And while I was there, that's when I started writing. So I feel like the human behaviour helped me get inside the head of my characters more. It made me more passionate about characters as real people. I mean, when I was a kid, I wanted to be an acrobat. When I was a teenager, I wanted to be a veterinarian, a horse vet, really, just because they were so expensive and my horse kept getting injured and sick. So I was like,
do it yourself.
Yeah, exactly. That was my thought. There's all kinds of different career paths I wanted, but never knew how to reach. So I kind of fell into writing and it just worked.
My next question was, what was your favourite subject at school? But
well, chemistry wasn't my favourite subject, not until, it just made sense with that teacher.
Yeah.
Probably music. I was always a music student, and I loved the class. It came easily to me, but it was also a lot of fun, and the creatives were in that class. Yeah. I have a lot of really good memories from those classes.
Do you play instruments?
No. I do. I did obviously all through school, and I sort of self-taught myself guitar probably 2 years ago. I sort of always was kind of singing and stuff, mostly used that for assessments, use that voice thing. I played flute when I was a lot younger, so I played that probably since like year 5 until year 10 maybe. And I suppose I could play one now.
I never knew that you played music.
Oh, and I can totally whittle a recorder. Is whittle the right word for a recorder? I feel like...
I don't even know what the word...
Well, I think whittle is when you sort of like carve wood or something, but I feel like, I feel like it works with a recorder because you're sort of whittling even though you're not. It's not at all correct. Twiddling? Piddling, no. Like you're doing the opposite of a flute. What would you do with a flute? Play it. You just play it.
Now, some writing questions. I've got heaps, but I won't ask you them all.
You can ask me whatever you want to ask.
Cool. Whisper and the Madoran Chronicles are both female perspectives. What is it about female perspectives, firstly, that makes you kind of want to write them, and would you consider writing a female perspective?
Absolutely. For the second part of that question, I've recently written two new projects in a male perspective, and I loved it. Like I loved getting into their heads and sort of seeing, trying to figure out a different way of thinking, but also similar. I mean, I think that's when it comes down to it. They're not that different, especially when it's a character that you're creating. But, there's certain things that, especially these two characters that I wrote perspectives from, so they're not gonna, they're not about to burst into tears if they see a fluffy bunny, for example. Whereas if I had like a cute little girl who I was writing from her perspective, she probably would. Like that in Despicable Me, it's so fluffy!
I'm gonna die!
I didn't know how I would sink into writing the male perspective, but I loved it, and now all I want to do is go and write a full book based on, a male point of view. The reason I guess I stick with a female protagonist is because I was a teenage girl at one stage, and so to me it's easier to think about my experiences and the people I knew at that age. I would find it really hard to write about a character who, at least in one way, I couldn't relate to, because I wouldn't know how to do justice to their character.
Do you have any bad writing habits that you wish you could break?
Yes. I don't sleep. I write books in a very short period of time because I have a terrible memory, and so I need to write them in a short period of time, but I will often just write, keep writing, and it's also because I don't plot out my novels beforehand, and so I'm excited to find out what's going to happen next. I feel like I can't get to like 5 o'clock at the end of the day and say, oh, we'll just finish the sentence, or I'll just stop right here and I'm done for the day. I'm like, well, she's in the middle of is she going to be killed? Is someone else going to be killed? How's she going to get out of this? I need to know. And then suddenly it's 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning and I'm like, oh, I can't see my screen anymore. And then I try and get a couple hours of sleep if I'm lucky, which is really quite disturbing because the kookaburras are happening and the light is coming up and it's really awful, because your body is going, okay, ready for another day, and your mind is going, please give me rest. So that's the one big writing habit I'd really love to break.
So do you have you don't have a set schedule, it's just like whatever story.
It is. I make sure a few key things I have each day are I make sure that I go out and exercise for an hour no matter what, because that gets my head out of my writing space and gives me, healthy, at least some kind of healthy habit when the rest of the time you're staring at the screen. I try to connect with a human being at least once a day. It does help again that I write in such a short period. So I wrote Dracora in 40 days. I wrote the fourth book in 28 days, I think, and the final book in like 26 days.
Insane.
So when I say I don't sleep, I mean I just get it done, which means I can get out of it.
For a month?
Well, then I burn out, and then I sleep for a month. Without the burnout, but with the sleeping. I like to give myself at least a couple of days off after each.
Yeah.
Which is really
a couple of days.
Well, it depends on need to meet, I guess. Like at the moment, because I'm working on Whisper, this book in the States, and also Grey Veil, which is the fourth book in this series. So I feel like the moment I get something finished with Whisper, it's like their timing is impeccable. The next thing is on, so it's but I'm handling it really well.
You're sleeping
I'm handling it really well.
So, this one's a fun one. What's the most questionable thing you've ever had to type into Google as research for your books?
Alright, well, for the record, I love Google. It is amazing, and I type all kinds of things from poisons to how to build bombs to how to actually sword fight and what a different kind of weapon could be and if this thing could actually exist. But there's one thing, and it's not that left field, but I remember recently for Grey Veil, I had to Google how long you can hang upside down without dying, I was really surprised because I'm thinking, if I hang off the couch backwards, within seconds I'm like, my head, ow, but it's hours, and it can be up to days. It just, the longer you're upside down, the more you risk having a stroke or because your blood's all in your head. It's not days, I don't mean days, but I think it was 24 hours or something is the absolute top, but I needed to make sure that a couple of hours
to adjust
passed.
Yeah.
So, well, I didn't have to adjust. That's the thing. I was so sure it'd be a few minutes and I'd be in trouble, but it's.
Okay.
I'm good. I'm good for what happens.
All right. Well, you're accurate without knowing.
Yes.
That's fun. Because we always hear stories of authors the police are gonna come after me for my Google searches. Oh goodness.
Oh, the best one. I don't remember who it was, but it was how to it wasn't just how to get rid of a body, it was how to chop up a body and get rid of the parts and put it, where do you put these body parts? And it's just and I think and do what happens if you eat part of those parts? So it wasn't mine. It was a crime writer. But it was hilarious.
Yeah, I'd be pretty worried about the next two books.
Yes, because there is now cannibalism in the Medoran Chronicles.
Love it. Totally kid friendly.
Yeah.
So we've seen and heard kind of online you talking about little mini projects that you've worked on, like novellas and all that sort of stuff. Is there anything you can reveal to us at all about them?
No. I got so excited after I'd never written a novella in my life, but there was something that happened to a character in this series that made me want to know more about their story. And so I just, for a bit of fun for myself, I sat down and I started drafting this thing that just poured out of me within 10 days, and I was like, I love this. And I just had so much fun with it, and so, but in my head it was just for me, so it was always never going to see the air, it was never going to see anything, but I was like, well, let's just see what happens with it, and I still don't know what's going to happen with it, or with any other kind of mini project with this series. It's just a matter of, I write what I want to write, and maybe one day things will happen, maybe they won't, but I'm hopeful because I've just been loving it all.
Yeah,
so.
we're hopeful too. If you were to write under a pseudonym, what would your name be?
Lynette Noni. Because Noni's not my last name.
Oh.
It's my middle name.
Okay.
So I technically write under a pseudonym already. But I know something epic it'd be ridiculous. It'd be I don't know, I can't even think of it.
It's a hard one on this one.
Yeah, honestly, I'd probably be so uncreative that it's just my initials and maybe my real last name. So it's not even a pseudonym. Yeah, I don't know. I'd probably do, I'd be so tempted to do the dragon or something like that's not even a pseudonym.
Dragon or Drake?
Well, yeah, see, I'd have to put people off. If I put Drake on, they'd know who I was.
Everyone would figure it out.
Yep.
And on the topic of names, are there any characters who are already published whose names you wish you could change? And if so, what would you choose?
There's no characters that I wish I had changed the name of, if only because I'm really meticulous when it comes to naming my characters and making sure that it's like the wand chooses the wizard, Harry. The character chooses the name. One thing I would say is that I guess I get asked about pronunciation a lot, so even just for the name of the books, AKARNAE, you know, I hear all different things, and I'm just used to it. It does not bother me. I hear AKARNAE, and I don't even know what they are, but you know, I hear lots of things. But Nyx is a character, N-I-Y-X or N-Y-I-X. N-I-Y-X comes into this series, and you know, he was originally spelled as N-I-X-E. And in my head I was like, that's Nyx. But someone was like, oh, it's Nixie. And I'm like, Nixie? He is not a Nixie. So I changed the spelling, but even now people are like, Nix. And I'm okay with them saying Nix. Nix at least sounds closer to him than Nixie. But to me it's Nyx. But I still don't know how I'd spell it unless it was like N-Y-K-E-S.
No, now that like I've been told it, because I read it as Nix at first, but now that I've been told it's Nyx, I've got it. Like it just makes sense because the I and the Y.
Yeah, you only have to hear it once.
We'll go on to some less sort of writing related questions and more book related.
Okay.
Can you tell us if you had a closest like Disney story to relate to AKARNAE, RAELIA, Dracora and Whisper, or you can choose one if that's going to take you. But so either Disney fairy tale or just any Disney.
Certainly not thought process going into it. Definitely not for Whisper. It is like it's
not
it's
Disney
a lot.
rated.
Well, it is. It's still it could certainly be read by anyone who is in reading the series. There's nothing too mature in it or anything, but it's a lot darker. It's a lot more thrillerish, a lot more what is happening here you need to know, or hopefully you need to know. These books definitely could be Disney. I wouldn't say they follow like a routine, but I think it might have essences of like Mulan kind of thing. Like, you know, you've got your character who's suddenly thrust into this situation and is like, okay, I need to not die. I mean, that's like most Disney movies though, isn't it?
But I can definitely feel like the Mulan, like trying to become something that you never like could associate yourself with when you started.
And also going through the training and going through the work to actually get there, not suddenly being, you know. Yeah, that's probably the one that jumps to mind. Maybe Tangled, I guess, a little bit too, for similar reasons. Maybe not as much.
Out in a completely different world.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just think Forest.
Yeah.
So, you know, How to Train a Dragon, I guess, if you want to think of that. With Dracora, yeah, never crossed my mind before, which now makes me feel like a bit ridiculous. I'd probably say the biggest one that resonates is Mulan.
Yeah.
I guess essences of Beauty and the Beast, if only, you know, because of the strength of characters and not knowing who's a beast and who's not. I could keep going. Transformation characters, the growth, the enchanted castle, and I have an enchanted library, really, and
there's like every Disney movie.
I know. So, you know, I honestly could find probably something in every Disney movie that I mean,
to relate. It's you that's written the book. So, if you could choose 5 of your characters to put together at a dinner table, so choose 5 for me and tell me, would it be like, say, a hilarious or controversial or awkward, or what sort of dinner would it be?
Alright. That is such a good question. Okay, I would put in... So we're going from the first 3 books?
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless you want to reveal characters for the next 2 books.
That makes sense to do that. Alright, well definitely Nyx. He would have to absolutely be there. I feel like Alex would have to be there just because she's Alex, and I feel like because she knows all these characters, she'd be that central awkward.
Yeah.
Avon would absolutely have to be there, and I feel like if Avon's there, Roka would need to be there as the brother to have, you know, to have that. See, that's hard because now we've got all guys and just Alex. But I really want to say Jordan as well.
Jordan would be awesome.
Jordan, I feel like he would be so, you know, he'd be the... So, how's everyone going?
We've never seen him interact.
Oh yeah, he hasn't all of... No, have we? No, we haven't seen him interact with Nyx. Maybe I'll swap out Roka then. I feel like the brotherly dynamic would be kind of awesome, but I might swap out Roka for... I feel like I could say DC. Maybe I'll just accidentally say Kaya. I don't know, that's so hard.
Yeah, Kaya would be like interesting in there. I feel like Jordan would be like flirting with her non-stop
Yeah.
and she'd be like, stop.
Yeah. You're like, do you not understand what's going on here? I feel like I need like a kiddie table that has Alex, Jordan, Bear and DC watching this other table of like, you know, people interacting. Oh, that's such a good question. I want to be at this dinner though. Like,
Yeah, you're allowed to be at the dinner.
awesome.
You try and control them all.
Yeah, no chance. I mean, they won't
They
let
control
me,
you?
They won't let me control them in the books, let alone at a dinner.
That's fun. There's so many possibilities.
Oh, I love that question. I love the idea. I want to actually write that dinner now. Like,
Yeah.
as just like a random little mini short story.
I would read it. Now to finish off, can we get 2 book recommendations from you? One that's kind of similar to your book that your audience would read, and one that's just like completely different to your book.
I recently read Liba Dugo, is that how you pronounce it? Her the trilogy. Like I read her Cricket Kingdom duology. No, that's not Six Approach duology. But then I went back and read her Grisha trilogy.
Yeah.
So Ruin and Rising, Shadow and Bone, and Siege and Storm.
Yeah.
And I just really loved it. They were really easy to read. There was lots of adventure, lots of action. And I really sunk into it. I really enjoyed it. So I would say that.
As one similar to your book or not?
Yeah, I guess if you want the adventure,
Yeah.
the adventure. I mean, it has a different kind of magic and stuff, but
Yeah, different world.
different, you know, young adult fantasy kind of thing, and something completely different from mine. That was
Yeah.
I read Jane Harper's The Dry last year I was going to a Melbourne Immersion Writers Festival, I think, and I was paneling with her. So it's crime mystery thriller, and I'd never really read all that much crime mystery, or if I had, it was long ago. And I really felt the whodunit of it. I was like, well, who did this? Who killed the person? You know, I know it's not who they say it is. It can't never be. I watched Castle, so you know, I know it's the person you least expect, but there are a few that I least expect, and yeah, I think it could have been, if I'd had more time, it would have been like a gateway book into reading more of that genre.
Yeah, that's it. That's all the questions I have.
Yay!
That was fun.
Yes.
Everyone go read the books. I didn't say it earlier, but they're like one of my favourite series ever. And
Stop.
no, like I think if people watch my channel, they know that.
Yes. Well, maybe a little
Just a little bit. Kind of guessed. I don't know if it was obvious or not. Yeah, no, it's really exciting that I finally got to see this.
Yes, thank you for having me.
You know?
It's so exciting. Birds and planes
Oh,
and
beautiful.
automobiles.
I'll have links below to where you can check out the Madoran Chronicles, Lynette Noni, and her publishers Pantera Press. Thank you so much for being on the channel. I hope you guys
Thank you for
enjoyed it.
having me.
Yeah, it's been awesome. See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
My lonely loner face.
Consider it playing.
Yeah, we should just watch it. That.
Just keep going.
Okay.
Yeah.
You pause it. Do that again.
Okay.
You have like a weird bug in your hair.
Oh, gross. Potatoes.
Yep.
We're all good.
Debugged.
Sorry.
Oh, I just thought it was really sticky.
Oh, gross.
Get it out of my head.
Finish off the question section. Those birds are so loud. Finish off the questions.
Yeah.